Now, back to the news. Story here from the Federalist. And I don't know how many people actually know this. Although the Obama regime currently refuses to temporarily pause its Syrian refugee resettlement program in the U.S., the Obama State Department in 2011 stopped processing Iraq refugee requests for 6 months after the FBI uncovered evidence that several dozen terrorists from Iraq had infiltrated the U.S. via the program. Now, I had this in the stack. I didn't get to it yesterday. And it's a November 20th, 2013 report by ABC News. Our old buddy Brian Ross. An ABC News investigation of the flawed U.S. refugee screening program, which was overhauled 2 years ago, showed that Alwan was mistakenly allowed into the U.S. and resettled in Bowling Green, Kentucky, one of the terrorists that got through. The point is that back in 2011, Iraqi refugees were being settled in America, and some actual Iraqi terrorists made it through, and so we suspended for 6 months the entire refugee program. Now, the Federalist story that I have here doesn't mention it, but Obama also failed to tell Congress about pausing the program. The ABC story has it. In the wake of the Kentucky case that I just told you about, the U.S. halted the refugee program for Iraqis for 6 months, a fact that the Obama administration did not disclose to Congress at the time. This, according to officials talking to ABC News about the 2013 investigation. And maybe he didn't tell Hillary either. Now, but here's the point, folks. And I'm sure most of you have figured it out now. There is precedent in this country for everything that is being suggested in dealing with the Syrian refugees. We have suspended immigration from 1924 to 1965. I mean, zip, zero, nada. We have deported terrorists who were here as illegal immigrants in the early 20s, anarchist groups. We've deported, we have suspended, and now we've learned we have a religious test for these refugees. And stop and think about it. It's a federal statutory requirement. But we couldn't have a refugee program without a religious aspect. I know some of you are saying, wait a minute, Rush, wait a minute. We have freedom of religion, and people can't be asked about religion. That's not like Obama said, there's not a religious test. Oh, but there is. Stop and think about it. Refugees, in order to get into the country, when things are running normally, and nothing with Obama would qualify as normal, they are asked why they want asylum. And they are required to explain where they're from and what their religion is and other things to explain why they're fleeing their homes. And the number one reason given by refugees for fleeing is religious persecution. Well, sorry, we have to ask them, what is your religion? We have to vet them. They tell us what's going on where they live. That's the reason they're seeking asylum. We, ostensibly, check it out. So if somebody says, I'm from religion A and members of religion A are being persecuted in my homeland of San Cordoba, well, then we go check out what's happening in San Cordoba. And we find out if there is indeed religious persecution or if the applicant is just lying to us. So all of this that's being suggested, it's all been done before. Yet Obama and Hillary are running around talking about, this is not who we are. These are not our values. What values anyway? You know, I'm almost to the point of saying Obama's and Hillary's values are not the values of the majority of this country, and certainly aren't the values we associate with the founding of the country. What values? But even now, learning about Iraq, Obama, when we screwed up, well, maybe we didn't, when 6 Iraqi terrorists beat our system, we shut it down for 6 months. We can easily do it now. There's ample cause. The numbers of people fleeing Syria, our inability to vet them, there's ample cause to suspend it and make sure we vet and investigate the people that we have admitted so far. Would only be common sense in terms of national security and safety. I mean, not to mention the money involved. I saw also it costs $63,000 per refugee to settle them. And who's paying that, folks? You are. Of course, it's kind of a crazy thing because I don't know that anybody's paying it. We're almost $20 trillion in debt.